Ameen Omar, and his title is the Iraqi Kurdish novel from 1970-1991, Problematic Hero and Tragic Vision.
Hi everyone. Today I am here to talk to you about the Iraqi Kurdish novel from 1970 until 1991, Problematic Hero and Tragic Vision. So I divided into two main things after introduction: theory, a short of theory, and analysis of problematic hero and tragic vision, and then a short conclusion. I can do. The present paper examines the generic features of the Iraqi Kurdish novel in its first stage of emergence and development 1970 until 1991 and their particular socio-political conditions. It explores how the political situation has shaped the Kurdish novel in Iraqi Kurdistan in terms of both formal and thematic structures, examining the notions of both the hero and the world vision in the novels. For this purpose, two novels have been chosen as samples for the study: Sagwar, Barking by Muhammad Mukri in 1982, and Buhjin, Assimilation by Nafa Aklei in 1989. Mukri and Aklei wrote both these novels, Sagwar and Buhjin, before 1991, i.e. in the first historical stage of the emergence and development of the Iraqi Kurdish novel. Mukri wrote his novel in the Sorani area of Iraqi Kurdistan and Aklei in the Bahdini area. In terms of political situation, Sagwar was written whilst Mukri was active within the Kurdish liberation movement and lived with them in the mountains. However, Buhjin was written in a town under the Iraqi government censorship. Politically, Iraqi Kurdistan has passed through three important historical stages since 1958. The beginning of Republican rule in Iraq, the period before of the Kurdish uprising in 1991, post-1991, and post-2003. Each of them has had its particular influence in terms of politics, sociology, and economics. The first stage continues until the Kurdish uprising against the Iraqi regime in 1991. The most striking feature of this phase is that politically the Kurdish people faced major challenges and difficulties such as mass murder, the process of Arabizing the Kurdish area, and conducting of genocide Anfal against the Iraqi Kurdish people and widespread illiteracy among the people. This created a serious social and economic crisis which had a deep influence on Kurdish society. However, in terms of literary works, as a result of a limited freedom of publication in this phase, a number of magazines and newspapers were published in Iraqi Kurdistan. These journals participated in the evolution of the literary movement in the region. In addition, the establishment of a few academic organizations, such as the Kurdish department in the University of Baghdad and the establishment of the University of Soleimani, alongside the appearance of a number of intellectual organizations such as the Union of Kurdish Writers, had their influence on the development of Kurdish literature in Iraq. See Botany 2007. However, the most important episode which concerns the present study in this stage is the emergence of the novel in the region. This took place in 1970 as a new genre appearing under harsh socio-political conditions. Theory. On the basis of the above-mentioned context, it seems useful to test a theory which considers both the technical aspects of the novel and the influence which socio-political conditions have had upon it. Lucian Goldman's genetic structuralist theory is located firmly within the third conception of the relationship between literature and society, the question of how literature arises in society, wrote in 1977. Such a theory might be helpful in order to discover the link between the social conditions and the form of literary works within a society, as Goldman herself tried to do through his theoretical approach. The study will, in addition, explore the reasons behind the dominant tragic world vision and problematic nature of the hero in Iraqi Kurdish novel during the period 1970 until 1991. In his methodology of the new European novel, Goldman linked the development of the European novel to the development of the bourgeois society. However, as the Kurdish novel in Iraqi Kurdistan is a post-colonial novel, development of the Kurdish novel is linked to political discourse more than to the development of bourgeois society because of the revolutionary and colonial circumstances of the Kurdish people. Bourgeoisie in Iraqi Kurdistan society is not the same as European capitalist bourgeoisie. Rather, it is the bourgeois, which Francis Fanon called national bourgeoisie, the term which he used to distinguish the class benefit from colonialism, which its vague awareness of national consciousness as compared with the peasant class. Looking at the Kurdish society and as an external society and a part of the post-colonial communities, the changes in society, economy, and even the form and the theme of the literary work are linked to the political situation. Thus, my testing of Goldman's approach is set within a more general perspective of post-colonial theory. Analysis. First, hero. A number of characters participate in both novels' events. However, all of them serve to define and characterize the main hero. Therefore, the focus will be on the main hero in each novel. In Sagwa, the hero is referred to the second by the second person singular pronoun you through the words of omniscient narrator. The reader hears everything about the main and the secondary characters. The hero in Buhujin is Said, who is from a poor and illiterate family. However, he has a strong self-motivation to resist and struggle against different challenges, particularly against the hardships of life. In both novels, the hero is a problematic, tragic hero who searches for authentic value in a degraded world. See Goldman, 1975. For Mukri's hero, the authentic value are the victory in revolution and the end of dependence. The world which his hero is searching for is a world in which there is union and cooperation among his people, and where a social democratic society is established. Akrai's hero believes that such values linked with freedom and the eradication of illiteracy and poverty. Although neither writers became a communist, their heroes explicitly speak on behalf of the working class. In Sadwar, as the hero supports communist principles, he is in a contrast conflict with the occupying force, and he prefers involvement in this struggle to living in a safe and comfortable life within his own family. Similarly, in Buhujin, the hero supports the working class. He prefers the working class to the Middle East class. Akrai's hero is in conflict with all of his strength from his childhood until his graduation from university in order to grant victory to his class. Mukri's tragic hero first finds the solution through resignation from the armed struggle. Then the hero steps back from his decision and reaches the summit of despair by choosing death as an appropriate solution, because he knows that due to the political situation of the Iraqi Kurdish people, they cannot live in their land without resistance and conflict. From what have been discussed above, we can see that the hero in both novels is a problematic hero, constantly searching for the establishment of the better social value in his society. The harsh political and economic conditions imposed on them led them into serious conflict with both the Ally class and the central government. In both novels, the hero believes that the harsh political situation and the social backwardness of their society are the main reason for the tragedies in their own lives. However, in Sagwa, the hero despairs, and so pessimistic is he in his conflict that he calls for his own death. In contrast, the hero in Buhajin prefers to continue in his conflict and go on resisting until he achieves victory. Tragic vision. According to Goldman's analysis of the works of Pascal and Racine, it is important to identify the nature of the tragic vision of literary work in the case of French classical tragedy. This identification will enable us to demonstrate whether this vision is structurally homologous with the ideology of a certain social class, group, or class in Kurdish society in a certain historical period. In addition, this determination of the nature of the tragic view may be helpful in exploring the socio-historical situation of that group or class. For the purpose of identifying the criteria of tragic vision, Irene Webb, 1981, argues that Aristotle's criteria for tragedy is the main source for most contemporary notions. According to Aristotle, translated in 1927, the existence of a tragic main character is a crucially important characteristic of tragedy. As the current study is based on Goldman's approach, I will take his criteria for tragic vision into consideration. Goldman, in 1976, believes that in the case of socio-economic and political decline affecting members of a social class, there will be an ideological response. This response is the tragic vision of that social class. He argues that this could be seen, for example, among the noblesse d'Europe in France during the 17th century. According to Goldman's criteria of the tragic vision, in Buhajin, the tragic vision of the hero relates to his poverty. The reason for this poverty, on the one hand, is the lack of authentic value in his society, and on the other hand, it is the result of the actions of successive despotic Iraqi governments and their effect on his society. According to my understanding of the novel, I will argue that these two factors are the main reasons for the hero's tragic vision in life. There are numerous situations in which Akai indicates this in Said's life. As has been argued, the second factor in Akai's own tragic view is the despotic nature of the Iraqi governments, from the monarchic to the republican government. Consequently, the key factor behind his hero's poverty and tragedy is the harsh political situation which caused the writer's own tragic vision. In Sagwar, the tragic vision relates to the tragic fate of the hero. In addition to the hero's physical and psychological torture, he is sentenced to death by hanging in the same way as other characters, i.e. in Sagwar, the tragic fate of the hero and secondary characters and the hopelessness of the Kurdish future display Mukri's tragic view. In other words, the severe political conditions and widespread poverty among Kurdish people in Iraqi Kurdistan might be the main reason for both Mukri and Akai's tragic world vision.
Great. Yeah, keep going.
Okay.
You're close.
Yeah.
You're in the home stretch.
Yes. As a result of the harsh political conditions at this time, the social status of both Mukris and Akai's social class was considered as marginal. This marginality became a source of both Mukris and Akai's suffering, each of them in his own way. For Mukri, his own life as a poor orphan child, and then his activities within the Kurdish movement as a marginal Peshmerga. For Akai, being a member of a poor family in a marginal town in the and the suffering he experienced during his study at the University of Mosul because of his poverty. In summary, it may be said that the political factor was probably the key mediating factor which stands between the author's world vision and the circumstances of their social class. It has a role in formulating the Kurdish novel in terms of both internal and external structures in this historical period, i.e. the novel was impacted by the widespread poverty in Kurdish society and also influenced by the Kurdish people's cultural and social conditions. Consequently, the political factor may be one of the most important mediations which may contribute to a greater understanding of the Iraqi Kurdish novel and may explain why the Kurdish writers express a particular world vision in a particular historical stage and why their heroes are always problematic heroes. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you.